First one when I got to Hollywood. Easiest audition I've ever had. I show up, this is a Disney movie, baseball film, right? I show up on the Warner Brothers lot at about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I go in to get ready for the read, and there's a guy sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden, as soon as I open the door, I hear this, whoa, stop right there. And I was backlit by the sun, so evidently I looked pretty epic. And he goes, you ever played baseball before? I said, yeah, 12 years. He goes, All-American kid. I said, yes, sir. He goes, got the part. Standing in the right doorway with the sun in the right spot behind my back. Got to go play baseball.
Talking about your second movie, let's talk about your newest movie. I'm Jacob Aller with the AV Club, and we're here with the cast of The Rivals of Amziah King with Matthew McConaughey, Cole Sprouse, Angelina LookingGlass, and Rob Morgan. What's going on, guys? Thanks for coming in.
You know.
Now, there's not a trailer out about this. It premieres tonight. I'm going to put it all on your shoulders, Matthew. Tell the people what this movie is.
Oh, this movie. So there's a little spot in southeast Oklahoma, which a lot of y'all, it's not that far from here. I know it's Oklahoma, but we still have some of these traits here in Texas, I promise you. It's big story. It's about family, but it's belonging for a bunch of misfits. Hair lips, knee scrapers, that all get together that didn't have a place and wouldn't have a place unless they were where they are in this movie. It's the band, literally, because actually we are a band. Anyway, my character, I'm a beekeeper, keeper of bees. As you'll see through the story, we can learn a lot about bees and how we can get along on our own 2 feet. But a young lady comes back into my life, Miss Angelina here, and she was a foster child of mine years before, probably over 10 years before, 20 years before. And I bring her back into my life, and she comes into the gang, and she takes over the bee plantation, and some things happen, and then I'll tell you, the second half, she gets some damn good revenge on some bad guys, on some rivals. That's what the rivals mean.
I was wondering, yeah. I was like, Amziah King, I got it figured out. The log line of this movie's got a phrase I'll never forget, which is, the bee business is dangerous. And I was like, I've got to see this movie.
The bee business is real dangerous. You wouldn't think about it, right? You'd think a big old bucket of honey would be kind of nice and everyone would be smiling. No. Better watch your back in the bee business. That honey's worse than cash.
Now, Angelina, this is your first movie. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Can you talk about what the process was of getting this?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really surreal, time for me. Getting to play a character that's indigenous, and, that I feel a lot of pride for that because I'm indigenous. I'm Oglala, Lakota, Navajo, Kiowa, Comanche, and Seneca. And, just working with everybody, it's been such a learning experience, and it's been really fun, and it felt like summer camp filming with everybody. Yeah. So, yeah.
Fun summer camp.
I would say filming in the South every day is going to gotta feel, hot, sweaty summer camp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Rob, Cole, who do you guys play? I know literally nothing about your characters.
I barely do either, if I'm being honest. I don't like to meta act. I just go and show up. No, I play a character called Oat. He is a greasy fish fry cashier / information broker. And I am one of the allies of Amziah King, who helped Kateri on her way, on her journey.
It's the sequel.
It's the sequel.
Yeah, the allies of Amziah King. Rob, what about you?
I play Rippy, one of Amziah's right-hand mans. But what's really touching for me in this movie, this project, is that it wasn't my first, but this man was actually part of my first movie 30 years ago. This film called Contact. And,
sure, yeah.
And I had ad-libbed some lines in this scene, and they used them. And so when I went and saw it, I didn't know what to expect, and when I saw myself, it literally shot the Novocaine in my arm to make me want to do this. And then I bump into this brother 30 years later playing opposite of him. And I'm like, man, Matt, this is like 30 years ago, our first time. I've been doing this just to get with you now. He said, hey, man, I've been working 30 years to be here with you, man.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Still getting away with it.
Yeah, so that's why I'm really touched by this project and to be in it.
I was going to say, speaking of, Matthew, this is the first live-action project you've done in a minute. You've been busy, booked, writing, teaching. What was it about this project that brought you in?
I'm still doing that. Still doing that. Just not getting arrested for it anymore.
Not anymore.
I thought about getting away with it, right? I learned my lesson. Just shut the windows so you don't keep the neighbor
It's like
away.
the golden rule, right?
Yeah, I did. What brought me back to screen for this? The original time, place, space, the fact that the dialogue's so original, and I know people that talk like this in these rhymes and riddles, and I don't think a lot of the world does. It's sort of the movie's a bit of a musical. More of a musical than I actually thought it was going to be on the page. When in the film, there's some wonderful, beautiful music to it, literally that we play, and just in the storytelling, it's very musical. The fact that this Amziah King, who's a legend of a man, he's a giver of belonging. He kind of takes in all the misfits, as I said earlier, takes in all the hair lips and knee skinners and says, "Come on, I'll take you in. Come on. You belong." And then they formed this band of brothers and sisters, and I just like the anarchy of it as well. It was wild, but at the same time, incredible amount of heart. And at the base of it, a love story between her and I, as a sort of a father-daughter and mentor-student sort of relationship. And you take on livelihood, the legacy that Amziah leaves, and you take it forward. And I just loved what it was about. It was about family in that way.
Yeah. I was going to say, working with a filmmaker who's dedicated to making films in the South about Southern people, about a Southern culture, it's more and more rare nowadays. So I imagine that was, you felt more at home, even if it was
you'll
in
see,
Oklahoma.
those of you who see when you see it tonight, a lot of us around here will know these places and know these kind of relationships. Most of the world will not. I think a lot of the world will ask the question, what planet do those people live on? Which is a great backhanded compliment. Yeah.
Now, so this comes after you've written your memoir. You've done a lot of introspection that I think is important for an actor. And I wonder if doing that process made you build out a character in a different way, now that you know yourself a little differently.
Do I know myself any differently? Yeah, look, I think I was always pretty honest with myself in taking on characters before, but bound to be more honest with myself after writing a book about my life. Look, what the book did for me was I never have liked to look at my past. I don't like looking over my shoulder. I had to in the book, and that was uncomfortable for a while. And then once I did it, it became quite fun. And some of the stuff that I was embarrassed about and regretted in my past, I ended up laughing my ass off about, going, you got away with it, or you didn't get away with it. So I don't know. I don't have as many secrets now since putting that book out. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, y'all, what was it like? You talk about building a rapport, having a band of misfits. What was it like building that between the cast when you were getting ready for the film?
You want to talk on that?
It was great. We played multiple instruments. First thing I did was went and bought a ukulele. Yeah, get my little ukulele on, and that was fun. He was walking around with a mandolin, just playing it, So I think that was also something that we used to just inform our characters when they said action, because we really was focused on playing these instruments for these scenes. And Andrew created a great world for us to play in. Like he said, it was some chaos, some anarchy, but the way he had it just nice and fluid for us to be safe to play in, it was just a beautiful experience,
Nice.
Yeah, also the humor of this film. I'm not being nostalgic in this, but there's a real innocence to this film that I'm happy to be a part of it and put it out into the world. It's wild as can be. but it's at the same time it's really, really innocent. I think just because it's got so much heart. That's another one of the reasons I came on board.
Nice. I can't wait to see it. The Rivals of Amziah King premieres tonight at the Paramount. Guys, thanks for coming by.
9:45. Thank y'all. 9:45.
Oh, 9:25.
It's a late. So y'all can have plenty of that mezcal before you get to a 9:45 screening. You'll be properly
line up
tuned.
now. You're going to be fine. Thanks, Ed.
That was it?
Yeah, that's us. All right. Let's do it. Okay. All right. You good? They're ready. Yeah. Let's get them. Let's get them on. Yeah. Jacob. Nice to meet you. Jacob. What? I'm a big Bastard Night guy, so I'm gonna try not to talk y'all's ear off about it, but it's good shit. No. Andrew, nice to see you. Jacob. Yeah.
How are you doing, man?
Good. I'm hyped about this film. I've been telling everybody I know about Bastard Night for years.
You're one of my ambassadors. Then we needed that.
Yeah.
I held the line. I didn't sell out. This is a pass on every studio thing. Go do the weirdest thing in my jacket.
No, that's the right thing to do.
Absolutely, it's the right thing to do.
I gotta ask you after about Jack.
Oh yeah.
Pressure is off. Everybody
good.
went and followed
No, I get it.
Patron saint.
We're still here.
I get it.
I was gonna say y'all should have done some shots beforehand. They're handing out the mezcal out there.
I don't blame it.
I'm so curious what the blue is.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
What's the
You want Powerade, energizing, energizing,
That's great.
hydrating.
This is a good group of people.
I thought it would be like some drink, like some Star Wars.
Yeah, like a big fishbowl. Everybody's got.
Yeah. No. That's Powerade.
This is straight up Powerade. Yeah, this is blue flavor.
Nothing special to it.
Nope, I don't need it to be.
You just wanted to think it was.
I wanted it to be.
Cool.
Sit up straight, boys.
And your last name is Patterson, right?
Andrew Patterson. Perfect.
I was like, I'm not gonna fuck this up. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Jacob Aller, the film editor with the AV Club. I'm here with the filmmaker of The Rivals of Amziah King, Andrew Patterson, as well as stars Tony Rivoli and Jake Horowitz. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Guys, I gotta open. Andrew's first film, The Vast of Night, is an incredible sci-fi movie. I have been stumping for it since it came out. I'm so excited that he's got his next movie out, and I'm also so excited that that movie came out the year that I left Oklahoma City. And so I was like, finally, an Oklahoma filmmaker I can stump for all the time. So I'm hyped that you're keeping this film in the South. You're doing it by your rules.
Absolutely. This one's based in Oklahoma. And quick love shout out to my boy here who was the lead in The Vast of Night. We've found him an incredible role on this one.
Yeah. And your DP is back.
My DP, Miguel, is back. Yeah, absolutely. Had a whirlwind few years after The Vast of Night. Laid low, said no to a lot of things, and reached down and grabbed the most daring thing I think I had in my back pocket, and came back to this one and decided to tell a beekeeping revenge musical set in the South.
I was gonna say the statement you have of how you came to this, where you're like, well, I knew some guys with bees, I knew some guys with bluegrass, I knew some people in church culture, and then you're like, I guess I'll just smush it all together. I think that's a ballsy move, and I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is for people anybody that's ever been to a potluck, anybody that's ever been to a church gymnasium. It's for film lovers, it's for farmers, it's for anybody that finds an incredible narrative set in a new place compelling. That's the whole idea behind this.
I've got many more questions about that, but first, I don't want to ignore you guys. Why don't you tell me who you guys play in the film?
You go.
Rock, paper, scissors?
That seemed like
All right. I'm Remick in this film, who I think we're both sort of I would describe us as worker bees. You know, we come in and we do a lot of the strange unseen work that happens in communities that Andrew shines a spotlight on in the two of us.
I feel like we're both the kind of people who, I'm sure everyone has a person that they can call to that either knows how to do anything,
right,
or knows someone who knows how to do anything.
Yeah. Remix the jack of all trades. Like if you called him up and you were like, I have to insulate my house, he'd be there. If you wanted to make a computer, he'd be there.
He'd be there.
With beer.
Always with beer.
Yeah.
Or mezcal.
So y'all are the Amziah fix-it guys.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all just turn up.
Yeah.
With a couple of like nice fun twists. I play Komar, who is a really, really good banjo player, but also this character, Remix, best friend.
Yes.
Those guys were just talking about picking up instruments. Did you have to pick up a banjo and figure it out? Yeah?
I did, yeah, for the very first time. I've played music since I was a kid. I played piano, guitar, bass, drums, and a couple other instruments, but never the banjo until this movie. And then, I had a couple of lessons, did my best to learn as much as I could, and then got completely outshined by Owen Teague, who's not here, so shout out Owen, who can literally play any instrument.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this, guys.
That sounds infuriating. I would be pissed off if that happened.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, I know this project has gone through a lot of phases. Like, it was like you dropped it, you picked it back up, you were like maybe a mini-series, maybe back down to a feature. What's that process like of honing in on what you want to do with this?
I mean, it was a much smaller in scale movie this time, 2018, and then things changed after Vast of Night, and I decided to come back to this one. At one point, it did balloon into 7 episodes. That's actually where these 2 characters came from. They weren't actually in the first iteration years ago, and which is weird because now it's so intrinsic in the film. And then decided that I remembered my love of cinema, after we all sort of got back out of the house a few years ago, post-COVID, and wanted to make something that, to me, looked and felt like the cinema I grew up on, which was movies in the late 90s and early 2000s that were all over.
Like a visual reference
you're
going for?
That's a good question. For this one?
Yeah.
References to this one that make sense. There are so many. I don't know that I can
Malik? Are you talking?
I would say this is more Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
And Mick.
Oh brother, where art thou?
Okay.
I mean, that was the thing that I used to joke about this movie is this. That, there are 6 musical numbers performed in the film. There is a revenge tale in the film. Mm-hmm. It's very much set in the places that if you grew up in Oklahoma, you know it. You understand what rural life sort of just bleeds into urban life. And I would say that this is the movie I would describe as No Country for Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That's been my internal way of describing it, yeah.
I was gonna say, anybody who's from Texas and from Oklahoma, you got a relative, you got somebody in your life who like talks like Boomhauer, and like exactly when that like whole crowd's coming in, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna understand half the words you're saying, but I'm gonna get the gist.
I mean, we got that character in the movie.
We do. We have a character that you don't understand most of what they say.
And it's a bold move to not have the subtitles, and I love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Well, how do you even subtitle it? You can't just be like Southern gibberish.
Right. Or just what he's trying to say.
Yeah. But, okay. So, beekeeping revenge movie. Awesome idea. How do you go from self-financing a small sci-fi movie that you're pouring everything into to bigger budget, bigger cast? How do you wrangle the expansions of this project after kind of kicking the can for the right thing for so long?
I'll say how he got the cast. I mean, just everyone can, if anyone has or hasn't seen it, watch the movie The Vast of Night, and you can tell you're working with a filmmaker who, 1, knows what they're doing, and 2, has a very specific vision. And then you meet him, and, it's like, got it. Cool. I get to play. I get to be something different or the same, but you're having fun on set. So I have no doubt why he got his cast, including myself and Jake and Matthew and everyone, just because it was being able to watch the first movie, you want to work with a filmmaker like this. And then afterwards, well, speaking on how you did everything else, fuck knows. So.
This might actually be something Jake could address because he's been on both of my features. I tried not to let the budget change anything. Yeah. I tried to make it.
It felt, yeah. I mean, it felt like the same idea of filmmaking, just people coming together to figure it out, and actually didn't feel the budget didn't really feel like that big of a difference. Yeah. And I think that the things about, I mean, Andrew writes dialogue that is organic but not commonplace, if that makes sense. I think you capture how people speak in odd ways and tell crazy stories, and it is how people talk, but it is not how people are written all the time. I think, So I think that's another pull of why people want to work with him and make his movies happen, whatever the budget, whatever.
Yeah, we all got paid more.
Thank God. Okay, well, everybody got paid. That's good. Well, awesome. Guys, Rivals of Amziah King premiering tonight, again, Paramount Theater. Go see the movie. I'm very excited. Guys, thanks for coming. Very nice. I'm hyped for this premiere.
Thanks for standing.